guys, my name is Samantha. If you are new to my channel is all about helping and inspiring special education teachers. If that interests you, then make sure you click the subscribe button and click the little bell to be notified of whenever I make a new video. Also, if you find this video helpful, please give it a big thumbs up. Let's get into today's video. So I actually went on my Facebook groups and I asked people what questions they have for me or just special education teachers in general. So today I'm going to read some of those questions and I'm also going to answer them. The number one question, and the one that I actually got asked a lot, was why did I choose to become a special education teacher? So I feel like there are a lot of reasons why I chose to become a special education teacher. It's kind of the main reason. It's a little bit about my background. So I was fortunate enough to be a part of a high school where one of my older classmates started a cheerleading team that included people with special needs. And it was called the Sparkles. So if you have never heard of the Sparkles, you should totally Google it. It's an awesome program. It's a great program where they help schools all around the United States create cheerleading and dance teams that include people with special needs. So anyways, I was a part of this team and I was paired with this really awesome girl and we became very close. Through all of my experiences on this inclusive cheerleading team, I knew with 100% certainty that I wanted to be a special education teacher. But yeah, little backstory to that. The Sparkles cheerleading squad that I was on, we actually were on the Oprah show, which is super cool. It was the best experience ever, and we got to sing on stage with Miley Cyrus. We got to sing the song The Climb, which at the time I absolutely loved that song. Back then it was when Miley Cyrus first got a nose piercing and everyone was like, oh my gosh, she's turning so bad. And so yeah, that was a long time ago. Anyways, okay, that's totally off topic. So I went to college and I decided to actually start a collegiate cheerleading team for students with special needs. So that's kind of my background, I guess, with the disability community. And then after that, of course, I went to school to be a special ed teacher and I loved every minute of it. So I think a lot of special education teachers had an experience where they were interacting or became close with someone with a disability, and that's how they knew that they wanted to be a special education teacher. So that's kind of my story. One of the other questions is, what is my favorite part of being a special education teacher? My favorite part by far is building relationships with my students. If it wasn't for the relationships that I've built with my students, I wouldn't be a teacher. I love my students so much. My husband's training made it so we had to move from city to city, and I still think about my students. My first experience was at a large high school, and I just had the best relationships with my students and my coworkers, and I think about them all the time still. And it's been, I think, about 5 years, and I literally still think of my students every single day to this day. That is by far my favorite part of being a special education teacher, is I guess just the students, because they are the best. Okay, on that note, the other question that I had was, what is the hardest part of being a special education teacher? So not gonna lie, there are a lot of hard parts of being a special education teacher. Some people commented on my post and they said the hardest part was the trauma that students go through. That is definitely very difficult. One of the hardest things about being a special education teacher, in my opinion, is probably how much you are expected to do. It is a very stressful job. It's not easy. Like, nobody will ever say it's an easy job. You are expected to do so much as a special education teacher, and it can be very taxing and hard. Under that, it would be like the paperwork and managing paras. Those were probably the two hardest parts for me personally. All right, here we have, what is my favorite topic to teach? If you have ever watched any of my other videos, you know the answer to that, and that is math. I love teaching math so much. I just love how you can incorporate so many fun things when you're teaching math. Like, that's a common misconception when it comes to math, that it's like super boring and you just have to do worksheets all day. That is so not true. I love making math learning fun. So that's my favorite topic. Here's another one. Advice for only working contract hours. Yeah, I think we all probably have struggled with this. My first 2 years, I worked constantly. Like, I would work from 7 a.m. till 10 p.m., not kidding, every single day, and most weekends I would work. Because I just felt like I needed to give everything that I had to my students, because I knew I was making a difference, and I just wanted to feel like I was doing everything I could. But as I have grown and I have learned, and mostly now that I have 2 little kids, I know the importance of time management and the importance of remembering that your whole life is not being a teacher. You also need to have a life out of teaching. So my advice for you is take advantage of all the time that you have at school. I know I would always have a lot of paras interrupt me during my prep period, and that was always really hard because I don't want to be the teacher that's like, get away from me, I need to work. But seriously, you probably should be that teacher if you want to work your contract hours, and there may or may not be enough time during your contract hours to get everything you need done. But especially when you're in your first and second year, it's pretty tough. But you eventually will learn different strategies and different shortcuts, I guess, like IEP writing shortcuts and things like that, that will make working more efficient. So I don't feel like I have like, here's the answer to always work your contract hours, but I don't know if I even really have good advice for that. But if you want to work your contract hours, like, I totally believe in you, and we're not paid enough to work our entire lives away as teachers. Over time, I think that it is possible to work your contract hours and just take advantage of every second you have at school to get things done. And actually, let me add on to that. One other thing is that your lessons don't need to be perfect. At the beginning, I made sure that every single lesson was perfect. I had backup activities just in case we got done early, and you just gotta go with the flow sometimes and just do your best. So if you aren't required to write lesson plans, I would just have like an idea of what activity you're going to do each day and for what class period and what time frame. That might help you a little bit. Another question is, how do you know what to teach when you don't have a curriculum? This is a super common question that I think a lot of us wonder, like, what should I teach? I have absolutely no curriculum. Well, of course, you should go to your state standards that you're supposed to be teaching. Some places you might have the freedom to teach whatever you want. I kind of felt like I could do that in one of my teaching positions. And actually, I did make a video. It was a life skills math class that I taught the things that I felt my students needed to learn. And so anyways, I made a whole YouTube video on that, so go check it out. It'll at least tell you exactly what to teach and when to teach it for life skills math if you're that kind of teacher, or else I would say follow the state standards or just whatever topic you're wanting to teach. If you want to teach fractions, then just Google scope and sequence for fractions, or like the phrase scope and sequence really helps you figure out what you should teach, because a scope and sequence is telling you what order to teach things in. So hopefully that helps a little bit. Also, I'll put a link in the description of this video to my free scope and sequence that I have for life skills math, which tells you exactly what to teach and when to teach it. All right, I don't want to make this video too long because a lot of my YouTube videos have been way too long. So I'm going to cut it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any other questions for me, please comment them down below. I always respond to all of my comments, and I love hearing from you guys. So please give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and follow me over on Instagram and Facebook under ActiviTeach. Also, you can go ahead and join my Facebook support groups that I have for special education teachers. They are linked down in the description of this YouTube video also. All right, guys, I hope you have a great week. Thank you so much for watching. Happy teaching.